Okay, so say hi to Nico. Hey, kitty, kitty. I've got some deliveries today. I ordered this on Amazon. This is a massive roll. Let's see, 50 yards of 2-inch twill tape. So I ordered this because I have been having a really hard time finding twill tape through like Joann's or Mood or Fabric Store, any of that. They seem to have like really limited colors, really limited stock, limited sizes, whatever. They're just limited. So of course, hello Amazon, the solution to everything during lockdown. 2-inch twill tape. Now I got 2 inches this time around. I did use a 1-inch on my pocket hoops, but I got 2 inches because I thought it would be nice just to be able to wrap around the top of a petticoat without having to worry about it being too skinny. Like I want a nice substantial band across the top. Now this does seem kind of thin, like you can kind of see through it. So it's not quite as thick and squishy and nice and plush as my other one was, but I think as a binding for the top of a petticoat, especially doubled over, it should be nice. It should be just fine for that. So I've got this. I'm going to be ironing this bad boy. This is the cotton from my petticoat. If you saw my last video where I was talking about that fabric, this is just a nice, thick, really, it's lovely to pet. Like I really like petting this fabric. It's a cotton sateen that I got at Joann's. Nothing like super fancy or anything, but I really love the feel of this fabric. So I just did a 1.5-inch strip and turned it inside out. I did a running back stitch along one edge, turned it inside out. I pinned it because I wanted to pull the stitching to one edge so that, because this stuff frays like nobody's business. That is the one thing I'm not enjoying about this fabric at all, is that it frays ridiculously. There's a spot in here. See, you can see there's still threads. This thing was shedding all over me. It looked like I had cat hair all over myself, but it wasn't cat hair. It was cotton. I had a couple spots where it had frayed so bad. See, like this is kind of, you can kind of see, like even though all these little bits are still sticking up. So I'm hoping, because I want to put this on the front edge of my petticoat so that I don't have a linen tape showing at all, just in case. You can see it after my jacket or whatever is put on. Also, I was waiting for more twill tape to get here so I could still work on my petticoat, and I got impatient, so I decided just to make a tie. But I think it'll be just fine. Yeah, see, I had to whip this closed, and it's pretty messy, but there's edges here where I thought it was just going to fray through. If it'll focus, come on. There it goes. So you can kind of see how it's still fraying through to the front side after I've turned it over. So I'm hoping that stitching, and then eventually once I whip it onto the edge of the petticoat too, I'll probably pull that in like, a millimeter or two, like 1/8 of an inch into this. Not that this is very wide to start with, but about 1/8 of an inch in. So it'll be a pretty skinny tie, but again, I just don't want it showing this against kind of this buttery yellow of the petticoat. So I think it'll work out just fine. I did miscalculate a little bit on my fabric. So I was originally planning on doing vertical panels, selvage to selvage, on that petticoat fabric, which is currently being used as a cat bed. She loves this fabric. I can't put it down anywhere without her wanting to sit on it. Probably because it's nice and cool. But here's another good example. You can see I just cut this last night and I've barely moved this around and it's already just all over the place. And these just come out in these huge long strips. It's just really, really annoying. So I just decided to take the two cut edges, sew them together. I've got a bit of felling done on one end of this seam already. If I see if I can pull it up to show you. There we go. So I've got some felling going on, and I'm doing this like as I go so that I can keep as much frayage in check as I can. So I'm cutting a little bit, I'm felling it down. I'm cutting a little bit, I'm felling it down. And once I get this done, I'm going to see, I've got about, I think it was 130 inches around circumference on this. So I'm going to put on my pocket hoops, slip this on over it, see kind of how I want to distribute the volume on this and go on from there. So, but I'm pretty happy how this felling is working on the fabric, because from the back side, so this is the wrong side, I'm using a natural colored thread, which I don't really have anything but natural or white, and white is just too stark against this, but you can barely see it. I mean, you can see it in the right light, but I think it's authentic enough that it really shouldn't matter. And once I get this ironed down, I have a feeling that you're not going to be able to see these little stitches very well once I get that done, because I tried to keep them as small as I possibly could on this side. So I'm just going to, I'm contemplating putting false seams in to make it look interesting and more period correct, because obviously this is a single piece of fabric and they wouldn't have had widths this wide. But I'm contemplating seaming in some false seams like they mentioned in the American Duchess book, just to give it that look. But we'll see. Mainly I just want to make sure that I get this kind of tacked onto a waistband. My cat's already pulled a thread in here. I can't put it anywhere, though, where she can't get it. So, oh well. Well, it's a learning experience. I'll just have to remember to try to lock up my fabric somewhere away from the cats when I'm working on a project so they can't get a hold of it. But that's where I'm at with this. So I'm going to go iron this. I'm going to go iron this down so that it stays nice and flat. And then we'll just go from there and see how getting this pleated up looks. I want to get that, I want to get that full seam, and then I think I'm going to put that in the back, that full seam put in first before I start finalizing the pleating and everything on where I want it to go. My cat's totally squirrely right now, so she scared the bejesus out of me. Hi. Yep, there she goes. So that's about it for today. Not a whole lot going on, but you know, it's a decent amount of work, I think, to do in between, you know, my day job. So we'll see you guys later. Bye.